What's up, girl?
I still can't do it.
You did.
I still can't do it. Just delete this whole episode.
Yeah.
What's up, girl? Let's change the world. Raise our voices. Let's get innovation in our hands. Stand queens, take a stand.
Welcome back to episode 7 of What's Up, Girl? We are here with Jade Boudreaux, who I think personally, and I'm sure this is a sentiment shared by many on this planet, and some off, that you are the greatest watercolor artist to ever grace this rocket garden and beyond. And I am so excited to get to chat to you today.
That's so generous, Kaylee. Thank you. I'm really pleased and flattered to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So you are a literal professional watercolor artist, and as if like that wasn't cool enough on its own, you draw and paint rockets. So how did you stumble into this niche of watercolor painting rockets?
You're right. It is truly quite the niche, and you can't make this up. It's one of those things that I think I suspected I never would live a pretty ordinary life.
I could see that for you.
But I was never gonna be. I tried being the 9-to-5 girl, and it was fun for a while. So the long story short is I was in another lifetime an architectural designer.
Right.
So I was working. I have my undergrad in architecture. I had my master's in architecture as well. I'm in Chicago. I was working at a firm that did super tall, mega tall structures. Buildings.
How tall are we talking here?
So,
like Empire State Building tall? Like...
do you know the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world?
Yeah.
That was my boss.
Oh, dang.
So
okay.
very tall.
The tall. Okay.
They're really tall. Super tall is a technical designation. It means anything over 300 meters. Mega tall is over 600 meters. It sounds silly and made up, but it's a real thing. I love that job. Maybe at the end of it, it didn't love me so much. It was very stressful. I feel like most radical life change stories begin with the like, oh, and then it was 2020 and the pandemic happened. And Bob and Doug launched on the SpaceX Crew Dragon demo too. I did my first real watercolor painting at a time when everything was devastating and sad, and that was such a beautiful, happy thing. Yeah. And I was locked in my apartment alone. And a year later, I decided to leave my position as an architect with no plans. I said
wing it here. Yeah.
I'm really good at winging it. I love it. I thrive in the unknown, as we often do in space exploration.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's kind of our thing.
Literally like our whole job description.
Yeah, comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Everybody in my life was like, no, what are you doing? The health insurance. And I was like, I know, you know when you like know you need to do something?
Yeah.
I knew I needed to just leave this position in a good note, and who am I when I'm not working 100 hours a week? And then so I just started posting these paintings on Instagram just to keep it off my regular Instagram and not bother people with my silly artwork. Mm-hmm. And
you're super silly. Now you have like 80,000 followers on Instagram.
Don't be dramatic.
Okay,
Taylor's just 65.
What?
And I don't know, posting it, and I'd like this vulnerable moment of like putting yourself out there, and then this community like just apparated.
Yeah. And
now I have this amazing life that I have and I love, just because I kind of put stuff out there.
Had you ever done watercolor before? Or this was the first time ever?
Kind of, really. So I had done like some sketchbook work, and architecture is very, I like the art side of things. Yeah. So it's hands-on, you're sketching and drawing. So I had some experience there, but not quite so much with watercolors.
How much of your architecture degree and like background do you use as a watercolor artist? Because I feel like there's a lot of geometry to the rockets, and kind of your style of doing it reminds me very much of like architectural drawings.
It's odd that my first reaction is, no, I don't. But I don't think that's true.
Yeah. I don't think that's true either, looking at your painting.
It's a part of me, and like what I've absorbed, and like the artwork I've absorbed my whole life, and the style I'm drawn to. I have a pretty deep understanding of construction and material sciences that I guess I don't use when I'm painting, but I think it gives me a really deep appreciation for these things. Yeah. Like the light on the metal and the shape of things. And I think for my artwork, most importantly, maybe even, I'm making this connection now, like being—
This is a inspirational, I figured this out right now moment. Yeah. Right here.
I've like made this connection about my work and everything. Like, I mean, I spent time on construction sites, and to speak to the subject at hand, it's a lot of men doing these things with their hands and making and manual labor their craft, right?
Yeah.
And so I spent a lot of time observing that. I think having an appreciation for that, drawing it, working together with them to make the drawings and what they're doing sing. And I think that applies to, I love drawing the hardware of spaceflight. And I'm like, somebody made this. Like somebody welded this, put it together. I don't know how to weld, and designed it, and just all the things that it takes to make something so incredible. And just like all these hands working together to build something beautiful.
How much of like an aerospace knowledge or aerospace background or base like do you need to have to do these watercolor paintings?
It was, I think the painting came first.
Yeah.
And then being around in this community. So it's amazing the things I have absorbed and learned through osmosis, being around other people in this community.
Is there a favorite like mission or program that you've ever watched versus your favorite art piece that you've done? Like, are they different ones?
Okay, I have seen things that I think one of those moments would be like the thing I think about on my deathbed. Like, I've had so many of those moments. I could make a list. At one point in time, it was the first flight of Starship. That was wow. At one point in time, it was my first Falcon Heavy launch and the double booster RTLS. That wow. I think the biggest reaction I had to a spaceflight moment was the Starship Flight 5. I have to admit, I was there and saw it, and that was an important mission because they launched that thing, world's largest, tallest tower since Saturn V.
Yeah.
Cool. A launch itself is amazing.
Yeah.
That's only Act 1. And this is the first time they attempted a tower catch, which they do for Falcon 9. It's routine now. The boosters come down, they land. Wow.
Yeah.
It's old news. We hardly watch the streams anymore.
Those things are tiny in comparison.
Yes. That's a beautiful thing. So then comparing that to Starship, which is a skyscraper falling through the sky, coming back at you. So the rocket takes off, and then it comes back down. And my brain knows that this is supposed to happen. And so my brain is like, wow, they're doing it. My body thought I was gonna die. My body was like, no. The rocket's going the wrong way. It's supposed to go up, not down, and it comes down, and I don't even realize I'm screaming. And so I see videos after, we're all just like, oh my God, really? And then it just comes in sideways, and it just nestles its way so gracefully and beautiful, and just like rests on the chopsticks, and we're just like, what did we just witness?
Yeah.
That was probably like one of the most incredible moments of my life. I feel like the sense of pride for the program and everybody who works on it, everybody in history who got humanity to that point, right? Standing on the shoulders of giants. So much so, this is like a little embarrassing to admit, I haven't been able to paint it yet. It was such a big moment.
Yeah.
I will think of something, I don't know how to express it.
There are a lot of photographers out there, and they do a phenomenal job of capturing kind of that raw image and like the same moment, but I don't know if they have quite as much of the emotion and the kind of artistic balance to all of it to show exactly what your watercolors do, which is make people really see things from a different perspective and not just like your naked eye looking at the rocket. Yeah. Which is still pretty cool, but
it means so much that I can contribute and add value and help people see this thing that I care so much about in another way. Some of my favorite compliments have actually been from different people have messaged me, oh my gosh, I saw this painting, like that little gear right there, or that sensor, or that camera, like I designed that. They're like,
that's cute.
That makes like I have chills thinking about it. Like that makes it worth it. They're like, it feels so good to see something I did, this piece of hardware, like represented in this way and appreciated and like given that care. And I'm like, yeah, I see you. Those are my favorite comments. It feels really good.
Yeah. And this is the part of the episode where I, an engineer with pretty much no artistic skill, challenges one of the greatest watercolor artists on the planet to a watercolor battle to the death.
Okay, no, low stakes. Yeah.
Low stakes.
No big deal. Yes.
Best rocket wins. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna teach me everything you know. And
first, you sit down and you take in your beautiful vista. You like
beautiful.
Survey the land before you. Picture a frame in your mind, so you can focus on the 1B and just do the boosters, or you can do the whole scene.
What do you think is gonna be easier for a beginner?
Honestly, I think the whole vista is a good one.
Okay.
I think you'll be surprised.
I'm blindly trusting you.
You're not drawing a photograph.
Okay.
You're not taking a picture.
That's true.
A trick for like beginning drawing is you take your pencil and you're like, perspective-wise, you lay it on top of the 1B, like lay it, and you see how it's angling down like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know in your paper it's gonna angle down like this. Now I'm just gonna kind of sketch out these guys, so like, I'm gonna start all the way over there. I mean, might need to move this. Kaylee, this is amazing. I'm like floored.
Watercolor.
Let's throw some color in there.
I do have a surprise for you here, though.
Oh.
Yeah. So I feel like since, you know, this is a challenge, that I needed to give myself a little bit of a leg up. So you get to use these. So I get these really, really fancy watercolors that Jade uses professionally, and I bought those on Amazon for $5.
Amazing. It's good news for you because I don't know anything about colors. This is where you guys find out I'm a phony.
Don't even.
I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh man, this is fun. Kaylee, I love this. Okay, so look at all these reds. This looks the most red. Oh,
all right,
no.
so what is like, how much water
That's
do we
orange.
use here?
Just wet your brush.
Just,
You honestly sometimes
do it.
Yeah, this is chaos. I'm so nervous.
You're literally a professional watercolor.
I know, but like this is, I don't know. It's different and fun.
I don't know what I'm painting. Yeah!
Yay! We did it! This is so fun! Oh my god.
Jade, thank you so much for joining us today and spending some quality time with me in the Kennedy Space Center Rocket Garden. And for all of you watching, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for our next episode of What's Up, Girl?